Hey, everybody. Welcome to What You Need to Know. I am Sybil Wilkes. Happy Monday to you. It is October 5th. That means it's my god sister's birthday. Hey, Tracy D, happy birthday. And to another sister of the block, Elizabeth Schoolark Williams' birthday is today. And tomorrow is Uncle Sonny Boy's birthday. Yeah, yeah. Welcome to What You Need to Know. What you need to know is our news and information hour here on Facebook Live and YouTube, on my YouTube channel. And it is also the name of our newsletter. The newsletter is what we send out to our subscribers every Monday through Friday morning. We super serve the African American community with stories that affect us, by us, about us, all of that. And we seek to inform and empower folks. And this is a very important time of information as well as empowerment. If you see this handsome fellow seated next to me, maybe even though he is a man of radio and the audio waves, he needs no introduction, but I like to call him one of the funniest guys out there. His name is Rudy Rush, and Rudy Rush also is the host of his podcast called Afternoon Rush. And Rudy, welcome. Thanks for coming on today.
Sybil, what's up? I
You.
can't bring you back that $20 I owe you. Things a little tight, so I figured, I come do a
Hey,
spot on your show.
if this is in lieu of the 20, okay, I'll take it, I think.
Yeah.
And Rudy, you may not know this young lady who is joining us, but perhaps you have seen her. Her name is Coy Malone. And Coy, welcome to What You Need to Know. Thank you so much for coming on today. I'm very excited to have both, and we just lost her again. I'm very excited to have Rudy and Coy. I think Rudy may be more familiar with you than I. However, we will talk about this. For you folks who do not know, yeah, Coy, we can see you now. We lost you for a second. Can you hear us?
Are you serious? Yeah,
Coy, can you hear us?
No, she can't.
I guess not. Okay, so we'll work to get that done. So, Rudy, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch our little show, but what we do is talk news, and we talk news and information, as Tom Joyner taught us to super serve the African American community, and so that's what we do with the What You Need to Know newsletter. So, for folks who are not subscribers yet, please do go to sybilwilkes.com. Give us your name and your email address. That's all you have to do. We don't need your birth date. We don't need your mama's middle name, or any of that stuff. But we would like to include you in our What You Need to Know news crew. And so that is what we do. And as I promise, Chicadilly will make it her business to make sure that those emails, the newsletter, is in your email box every Monday through Friday morning. So, and we also like to have a little comedy, and we like to have newsmakers. And Coy, can you hear me? Not yet? Okay. Well, Coy is a newsmaker, and so we'll talk about why
Yeah,
she's
she
here.
is. She's a big news maker.
She's making news and making waves about this world. And so we're going to talk to her about what she's doing and her effort to get people to register and to vote. So, in case you missed it, Rudy, just a few minutes ago, Donald Trump has left the hospital again, but this time he's headed back to the White House. I guess he checked himself out because, he, I guess, just a couple of breathing treatments and a good night's rest, although he did not look like he was, obviously, did not put himself in that position to look like he was a patient in the hospital.
Yeah.
He's sitting there doing business with the flags over his shoulder, sitting at the presidential desk with the suit coat and the open neck shirt and what have you. So he did go out. Why, Rudy? Why would you just
I think Mike
do
Pence
this?
got in his ear about how Tupac signed himself out early, so he was like, I ain't gonna one up me, Tupac. So he was like, I'm signing myself out. Death row forever. Let's go back to the White House and make it pop. So yeah, he ain't playing.
Do you think Donald Trump really said death row forever, deuces, I'm out of here?
That guy's got his own way of thinking, and he's just like, he's not gonna let anyone or anything kind of dictate. He's gonna check himself out. He's gonna act like this is nothing to him. So, unfortunately, I hope he pulls through or whatever. I don't know. I don't wish anything bad on the man, but
Right,
that's
right.
his. He's just stubborn like a mule.
He really is. He is been bound and determined to prove to people that this coronavirus is no big deal. And it has killed over 200,000 people. That's a big deal,
Huge, huge.
right? As he
Yeah,
would say. Yeah.
he gonna lose that fight just like my mama did. She tried to convince us that that was our Uncle Willie, and then next thing you know, she married to him. All these years, that's my uncle. Now he married to you.
Just like your
Behind.
mama did.
Never my behind.
Oh, Rudy, I do miss you. I do miss you. But now I can catch up with you on the afternoon rush,
Yes,
right?
absolutely, absolutely.
So he is back at the White House. Well, it's a process. You leave the White House, you infect people in your situation with the SUV to get them to Marine One. Marine One then takes them back to the White House, right? And this is so crazy. All of the people, however this happened, all of the people who became infected, and from what and although they're not doing good tracing, contact tracing, it does appear that it all happened at the last Saturday at the nomination for his Supreme Court nominee.
Yeah.
That is
It's gonna, I can't even imagine why didn't they do it virtually anyway?
right.
Everything is opening up slowly but surely, but at the same time, they could have done it like in the beginning when they both accepted the nomination, like just do it from a different room. They didn't have to be in the same area. I don't understand the need for them to be.
They have that need to show that it's no big deal. And so, like, but remember when Donald Trump accepted the nomination, it was out there on the South Lawn, which is against all the rules for the political situations to be brought into the White House. But nonetheless, he did that. All those people are sitting there close together. That's a miracle that nobody got sick then during the Republican convention, right?
And Sybil, you got to know, Corona is like roaches. You ain't gonna see him until company, so he could have had it a long time ago. And then when the time came out, they just popped out like, "Oh, you got us."
Okay, party over here.
Yeah.
And Rudy, that's the other thing. They're not telling people when exactly he did test positive for the coronavirus because all of this is really concerned around what did he know and when did he know it, especially in relationship to the debate on Tuesday, which was just a big disaster. So did they already know because Hope Hicks was sick right thereafter, right on Wednesday?
Yeah.
So and who's a big insider, and she was there with all of them. Kayleigh McEnany is the latest, I should say the latest person. That's his White House spokesperson, the press person. And so she announced today that, and her security announced that they are also positive. The head of the Republican National Committee, his wife, all of the women around him, 3 U.S. senators, Republican senators, no telling who else is going to be affected, and his campaign manager. Let's not even forget that. So all of these people around him, like a dozen people around Donald Trump, and he's pretending like it's no big deal. His doctor is pretending. And at some point we're going to do a show. Make a note of this in my head. We're going to do a show on the difference between doctors who are he's an osteopath as opposed to a medical doctor. So he's still a doctor, they say, but his way of doing things is right up Donald Trump's alley because he's not telling us anything. I mean to tell you, when I say mum is the word regarding this man, whether he hasn't had an oxygen treatment lately. Well, what does that mean?
And Sybil, can we explain to everyone watching right now what an osteopath is related to? It's more like, okay, when you were growing up as a kid and your mama told you, like you told her you was hurt, she said, go sit down on the toilet.
And have a coat.
You be sitting on the toilet for 2 hours. Mama, my leg's still bleeding. Sit right there.
That was your mama's form of holistic medicine. Yes.
That and Robitussin. That's it.
And Rudy, are you probably too young for this? Did you have Fletcher's Castoria? Do you remember that?
Castor oil? That what?
Castor oil and pledges, yes.
First, no, listen. I'm older than you think. That castor oil was no joke. It was that creamy white clear liquid.
Mm-hmm.
My grandmother had plenty of it in there, and you would get it if you was in trouble. Forget
Right.
it.
It was punishment.
Yes, yes.
So that's pretty much what an osteopath is. Now we're gonna
Yeah.
have a lot of osteopaths right now just typing furiously, telling Yolanda that's not what we do. But that pretty much is it. Yeah. And so he is an osteopath. He is not an MD. He's an OD. And that's not to be confused with anything else.
Okay.
And these guys, what it reminded me of, Rudy, when they had the press conferences, all of these guys who are MDs, who are specialists in this area, they're looking at, around at each other like, do we say that he's wrong, that he's a flaming idiot? It was a lot like the old press conferences in the White House during the height of coronavirus, where they were sitting there, Dr. Fauci and Dr. Birx were sitting there rocking back and forth going, you say something, I'm not going to say something, no, I'm not going to say anything. It was crazy.
Yeah, all you had to do was look at the other doctors' mouths. It was like,
And that was with their mask on. So Donald Trump is home. We will see what happens from here. We are now going to work our way to the vice presidential debate on Wednesday. And then whether the second presidential debate happens or not is up to question. But one of the most nervous people, I don't know if you've seen the interviews, is Chris Wallace. He's everywhere, but he is so not happy with Donald Trump and the way that he and his people disrespected those their hosts there in Cleveland. He went after a major Republican just yesterday or today, and saying, when the rules were, you come in, you have your mask on, and you're socially distant. He said none of the Trump people did that. Everybody else doing that and nothing.
Well, my whole thing is, why don't they get a moderator that people respect?
Well, I thought we did, but that was proven not true.
Because you got to get somebody like Samuel L. Jackson or somebody. Sit your ass down before I tell your ass to because you know what? You need people like that, because Trump doesn't respect anybody who's not, unless you are a strong authoritative figure, and you can't get no stronger than that. So, I mean, hopefully the next one will be better. I doubt it.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, we'll see.
Here's the thing. Saturday Night Live came on Saturday, and I was ready for it. I was ready, especially after Tuesday's debate. And that was what was in my head when they did the open, or the cold open, as they say, and it is with the debate. And I wanted like Chris Rock to be like Sam Jackson, or to do an Oprah, somebody like
somebody.
Ego, to do an Oprah and say, they tried it with Kamala Harris, but that didn't work. We just needed somebody to be able to do that and to make it funny, which was I was hoping for Saturday Night Live, and didn't really get too much of that anyway.
Yeah.
But so that's what I wanted. But what I got, the most entertaining part of Saturday Night Live, and this is off topic, obviously, Megan Thee Stallion. Did you see her? I know you saw her, but did you?
Yeah, can you not see her?
But how powerful was that about Black women and seeing Black women and recognizing our power? I thought that everything else just was nothing compared to.
I've been seeing Black women's power since I was born, because my mama got a lot of power.
And you're raising a Black woman.
I'm raising two beautiful Black girls, and I got sisters and relatives, and I have nieces. And I know how amazing you guys are, and it's just like people just waking up to that. I don't think so. You know what I mean? No. But at the same time, people need to be made aware of the fact that that's the future. And I don't know if you remember this, Sybil, and I know you probably do. Time Magazine years ago came out with the future, and what the future would look like. It was a Black woman, and this is back in the 80s something, I believe.
Remember?
I remember that, and I used to read back then. So.
was it sexy for you to read back then?
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not. You think I'm being funny? She almost resembled how you look right now. Like she was very, very astute. You know what I'm saying? Like she was the representation. And Kamala
Wow,
Harris, to be
that's
honest,
it.
almost looks just like the picture of that lady.
Yeah, yeah,
Isn't that
yeah.
amazing?
How cool is that to see into the future and have that look, right? And now here we are. And which brings me to our next topic,
Yeah.
because today is the day for the registration deadline in 13 states.
Yes.
Tomorrow we're 4 weeks out from the big election, but I'm sorry, early voting has already started in a number of places. And want to talk about that a little bit and asking people, first of all, Rudy Rush,
Yes.
are you registered to vote?
Absolutely. And I really am glad you talking about this. And I know we have to because everybody's into this voter mode and registrating and all this other stuff. But I was having a conversation, and maybe you can help me clear this up. And we didn't talk about it off air, so I'm sorry if I catch you off guard. When Trump first got into office, and
Hmm.
I was talking to someone, we going back and forth and the importance of voting and stuff like that. He lost the popular vote.
Right.
So, I mean, if we go out and people are acting like we didn't do what we needed to do before, but we actually did. We
Yeah.
actually didn't vote for him before, but the Electoral College, how does that work, Sybil? For people who are watching right now, and even myself, if you have that information, how does it come that I lose the popular vote, but I win the election?
That is probably it, and what it goes back to is the beginning of this country and giving all the power to the landowners as well as to and not to the populace or the popular vote, but they have people who are part of the Electoral College, and based upon the vote of their states, they are supposed to go forth and present their votes representing their states.
Mm,
There, what we've had, and we did have in 2016, were some rogue electoral college members,
mm,
voters. And
mm.
so they did not necessarily follow what was decided upon by the populace or the
Wow.
little people, those of us that do our voting. So we have to, first of all, make sure that they represent us well in the electoral college. But what's really important and when we talk about the electoral college, that's when a lot of people say, oh, my vote doesn't count. They just, there's got some old white guys that are going to go and vote for Donald Trump, and that could be true. I don't know an electoral college member, but what we have to do is vote early, and we have to vote with force and in numbers.
Yeah.
That's the real, I'm sorry, did I make that noise? But that is so very important, is what we have to do in order to counteract whatever happens with the electoral college, so that our numbers are so high and so great that even the small amount that he may have won in those states, which flipped it over to those side
Okay.
to the side of the electoral college numbers, they make no difference.
Sybil, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't know if anybody told you this, but you got a knack for show business and knowledge. Because
Thank you.
listen, my kids need to be looking at you in the morning when they go to school virtually. Because one teacher had his baby crying in the background. You explain that so well, Sybil. I'm telling you, because I'm telling you, like I was a little confused, and so are a lot of people. Like they think that yeah, we need to go out there and vote, but when you see a situation like that, I just wanted you to kind of put it in layman's terms, which you perfectly did. Like now, I understand that we need to be overwhelmingly at the polls. We
Exactly.
need to
Yeah.
be such a strong presence, and maybe that's why people need to know who are teetering on voting or not. Hey,
Yeah.
this is why we need to be everybody in full strength going to the polls. So that's perfect. Yeah, absolutely.
That is so important, Rudy, as you say. A lot of folks sitting back like they weren't feeling Hillary, or they weren't, or they're like, he was okay on The Apprentice. He'll be all right as president, or whatever it was. And so you have to know that, as our forever first lady has said, as our soon to be vice president has said, you have to vote like our lives depend on it, and it really does. This is because, Rudy, here's the other thing that we have to talk about, and that is the Supreme Court, which they started deciding which cases they're going to hear today. Even though they don't have the full complement of justices, they are waiting to find out what happens with the woman that was nominated by Donald Trump, in which the whole coronavirus thing spread. Okay, so they're going to be voting on things like Obamacare. They're going to be voting on things like Roe versus Wade. They're going to probably be dealing with some electoral politics, and these are all things that are so vital to our lives, like taking away affordable care, right? And which has given a lot of people the health care that they needed, even with pre-existing conditions.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is saying, we want to get rid of it, but they have for the last 3 years, as he says, he's done more in 47 months. Well, he hasn't, because
No.
he's not. If you don't want affordable care, then what is your deal? What is your proposition for this? How do you want to do this?
And
So they have not given us that. Roe versus Wade, for a party like the Republicans, they say it's all about individuals and we don't want the government in our lives. Then they definitely are telling us how women's lives, how women are having no say over the use of their bodies. And
I'm about
so
to tell y'all this, and people don't think these things affect you, but they do. Because I'm
and
telling you, if my baby mama don't get her medicine, it's gonna be a cold winter for me.
If you thought the last 7 months were bad,
So
right.
please vote.
So it's really important that we vote, even though they flipped the script on us, as opposed to 2016 when they said that a sitting president could not nominate anyone to the Supreme Court. Now they have a woman that they are, and she's very conservative, and their decisions will go a very long time. These are people, the Supreme Court justices, they don't have a limit on their jobs.
No,
These are jobs for life.
for
She's a
life.
young woman. She is going to be around for a very long time if they do vote her on that Supreme Court. And that goes to the other part. If you are not happy with the balance of the United States Senate, now it's like 52-48. The Republicans have the advantage, and the Democrats are hoping to woo some Republicans over. It's all of this stuff. I know I get really geeked out and I sound, like like a nerd and everything, and I am a political nerd, but all of these things are so interconnected, and we have to think about this. So, talking about registering to vote, today was the last day to register in the following states: Arizona, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Indiana, Kentucky, Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, Texas, and Tennessee. This is the last day. If you did not register today, then you are out of luck for the November 3rd elections.
Yes.
Okay. Tomorrow is the last day to vote, last day to register, sorry, in Illinois, Nevada, and New Mexico. In Illinois, Chicago, we vote early and often, so we're, going to find a way to, no, I'm kidding. And then on Wednesday, the last day to register to vote in Missouri. These are dates. These are etched in stone for right now, and so it's very important that we get out and that we encourage and all our folks to register to vote. And we give you the information in the What You Need to Know newsletter, and you can also go to sybilwilkes.com for more information. And speaking of, we were talking a little bit about sisters and sisterhood. And I was telling you about my Megan Thee Stallion girl crush after Saturday Night Live, and her powerful performance. Tomorrow, Rudy, we're going to start a series here on What You Need to Know, and it's Sisters United for Reform, and it's a 4-part panel discussion series. And we're going to be talking about a number of different issues each week. And tomorrow we start with COVID-19's impact on domestic violence and mental health support. This is really important as we talk about this for the coming the coming election period. And as part of our panel series, we have the international president of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, Rashida Liberty, who is a dynamo, as well as Sharon J. Beard. She is the national president of Top Ladies of Distinction. That is tomorrow, Tuesday. The following Tuesday, we talk about the power of the sisterhood, and we have a number of powerful guests, including Margaret Gaines Clark of the Girlfriends Incorporated, Dr. Glenda Glover, who is not only the president of Tennessee State, but she is also the international president of Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. We have Dr. Kimberly Jeffries Leonard, the national president of the Lynx, and Beverly Evans Smith, one of the greatest women ever, the national president, CEO of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, and Guinevere Hess, who's the president of the Black Women's Agenda. That's next Tuesday. The following week, we talk about police reform and combating systemic racism. And then finally, the Tuesday before the election, voter mobilization, education, engagement. But that's something we do here every day.
So this is all going down tomorrow?
Starting tomorrow, 4 weeks.
Okay, so fellas,
every week will be a different topic.
It's going to be like the club. It's going to be a bunch of women on. So get your popcorn ready. It's going to be like the club up in Sybil's.
The What You Need to Know Club. And speaking of club, in just a few minutes, we're going to welcome Coy Malone, and we're going to talk to her about what she's doing as a sister who is working mighty hard in order to get folks
to the
involved.
That's right.
That's right. You got it. Exactly. Thank you very much. Rudy, you and I both live in the state of Texas.
Yes.
And we are in a situation where we have a Republican governor. And he has decided that he's going to continue the Republicans' effort to suppress the vote. And that means when we had voting mail-in ballot boxes, right? And so people were able to give their early ballots. They were boxes, secure boxes, in which people were able to put their ballots in, and they would be safe and secure. So apparently this was going so well that Greg Abbott decided on Thursday to announce that he was going to shut down every one of those collection boxes with the exception of one per county. One per county. So just think about the size of the state of Texas and the size of those counties like Harris County, which is where Houston is, right?
Yes.
1,800 square miles. 1,800 square miles for Harris County. One secure collection box. So folks have gone to court asking the federal judges to stop this and to open them up again. Like in Harris County, they already had a dozen, which is great if you consider one. And so they're asking them to be able to reopen, and so that people can put their because all this concern about the mail service and whether my ballot is going to make it to you or not. And so this is
the Republicans, they got to try something better. They tried the last minute to do every trick in the book.
Yeah.
Like wait, call my mama. Hold on, wait. Like, it's so clear and evident that they're trying to do things to steal this election. Just like this, putting one box in every county, which is ridiculous. And it's so spread out. You know what I mean? Because, you and I both know there's like 16 different supermarkets we can go to because it's so spread out. Like, not that Kroger, the other Kroger.
The other Kroger, yeah.
Walmart,
the brothers behind the counter, yeah.
But yeah, so that's ridiculous. But I think hopefully, like you said, things will open up and they won't let that happen. Just like you try to shut down the post office, that kind of failed too. So I hope things happen. We got a month, so we hopefully can get everybody to get their ballots in. But
really, the answer to this is really to vote early. To get in there. Are you planning to vote early?
I voted early already. Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. What about your kids? Are they involved in voting in politics?
The last time my oldest is 14. The last time she was involved in politics, she was just a Barack fan. That's basically it. Shout out to that lady who told us she can get us to the White House. It ain't happened. Big shout out. Anyway. Too mad about that. and let me tell you something real quick, Sybil. I don't want to steal the stage, but this lady promised. She said she worked at the White House. She had some connections, and Barack I had one friend, you included. You done went 3-4 times.
Yeah.
Barack he was black for real. He was having company every other weekend.
Having company.
Barack was like, "Hey, pass me the cocktail glasses." I dude stayed with some company. I wanted to get in there when the getting was good, but I missed my chance, so I don't want to go now. But anyway, but no, my daughters, I just try to, show them that, the political process, especially the 14-year-old, she's National Honor Society, so she's very going on and aware of herself and everything like that. So we have some light discussion about, of course, the Black Lives Matter and things that are happening aggressively, because, women, that's what it is, and these girls are going to be running the world. So yeah, my oldest, I'm very concerned about how things, play out, but she's got it. The funny thing is, the boys are the ones you got to worry about, because they don't know. I got 2 girls. I got lucky.
Yeah, but you got to worry about the knuckleheads too. So you know how it types is. But you're right. They are the future. And it is just amazing to have this opportunity to talk about it and to take our kids with us when we go to the polls as well to vote. Speaking of the polls, let us go to our special guest. Hey, Coy Malone, how are you?
Hey, great. How are you all doing this evening?
Awesome. Thanks so much. This is Rudy Rush. I don't know if you've met before. Maybe Rudy has made your acquaintance. I'm not sure.
No, I haven't.
No. Yeah, I can remember faces.
Look, I would have been blushing. I would have been like, "Hey,
Coy, Rudy is a comedian extraordinaire and also the host of his own podcast. It is called Afternoon Rush. And Coy, I like to call you a political activist because you have given us a new perspective. And I got to tell you, it's given us a new perspective on getting people to the polls, especially a certain body part. So let us show, because I'm sure, I don't know how many viewings you've had of this video, but let's go and show people how they know Coy Malone and what she is doing to change the trajectory of this election.
Get your booty to the pole, 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 get your booty to the pole. Yeah.
Did we get your attention? Good. So, you really not gonna vote?
You know it's more than just the president on the ballot, right? Check it.
A district attorney decides who to prosecute,
including whether or not to go after dirty cops. Do you know who elects the DA?
We do, but you don't want to vote.
Can't make it rain if you locked up on some bullshit.
Want trades and coding taught in our schools? Then vote for the school boards that will prepare us for the job market. Want to end cash bail?
Well, then vote for the sheriffs and county officials that feel the same way you do.
But you talking about, they gonna pick who they gonna pick, shawty.
Ferguson just elected their first Black mayor.
You know how that happened?
It's clear Black lives don't matter to some of our current elected officials.
If they matter to you,
then don't let other people decide who's gonna run your community.
Get your booty to the poll.
Get your booty to the poll. Get your booty to the poll.
Get your vote, yeah, vote, stretch.
For information on how and where to vote, as well as resources to find out who's running where you live, go to getyourBootyToThePoll.com.
Get your booty to the poll, get your booty to the poll, get your booty to the poll.
Bravo! So well done, Coy Malone. Where did this come from?
Thank you. Well, this came from the creative director, Angela Barnes, as well as the producer, Paul Fox. They came together and their friends to put on this PSA. And I was contacted by one of the members of the crew by the name of Ashley, who sent me an email and said, hey, we're creating this PSA. It's called Get Your Booty to the Poll. And we're going to have pole dancers talk about, voting, and we'd like for you to participate. And I said, yeah, because these are conversations I was already having on Facebook and Instagram and in person, just getting people to realize the importance of voting and what you're voting on. And it's not just the president, as we explained, that's on the ballot. And so I just let them know if I can shorten these conversations and some of these arguments that I'm having online into 1 minute and 30 seconds and post it as a link, I'm down for it.
Well, we're down for it too. I think Rudy more so than I, perhaps because he's taken by the women that were encouraging him. You are an actress, a stunt double, a singer, a musician, an athlete, a baker, a candlestick maker, a choreographer, and a model, and a pole dancer. All of this comes together, and you were these your friends? Are these your colleagues that you did this with?
Yeah, some of them are my colleagues. I didn't have any previous information on who was casted until, I got to set, and after we did a rapid COVID test so we could proceed with filming. And then after that point, and we got into holding, I look and I'm like, wow. So there was two young ladies there that were previous coworkers of mine. Another young lady, we were actually on set for a movie that we filmed last year with Kate Hudson. She was there, and another young lady who is she runs a pole Instagram account that showcases a lot of pole artists from around the world, and it's pretty big too. So these are people that I was already, familiar with, but I didn't know who was going to be there until after we got into holding.
Do you call yourself a pole not a pole dancer, but you made another reference, a pole artist?
Yes, I call myself a pole artist because there is an artistry to pole dance that's
Mm-hmm.
very, very hard and tricky. It incorporates yoga, it incorporates gymnastics, it incorporates just strength, using
Yeah,
your whole body. It's not just, what you see. A part of it is in the
right.
club, you got to twerk a little bit, but it's very, very hard. It's hard.
Did you study political science in school?
Not really. I remember falling asleep a lot in my civics class in high school. I did. I'm not gonna lie, I did. But I did pay attention, and there was a lot of things that I did take away from that and from my American government classes and stuff. And what really got me interested into politics was just looking at the community around me. I went to high school right outside of Atlanta in a city called Decatur. I graduated from Southwest DeKalb High School. I got to talking with my best friend's mom, who actually was telling me about how our area of Decatur was unincorporated. And then I started doing research about what is incorporated and what is unincorporated. I looked at incorporated Decatur. It looks totally different. They have a nice downtown, they got coffee shops, the streets are clean, the education is much better, the houses look beautiful, the property value is super high. When you go into unincorporated Decatur, we don't have our own government system. We're patrolled by just the Cobb County Police. The streets look terrible. There is a lot of developmental things that need to happen. So I always talked about in high school, how could I energize the community into organizing everyone to incorporate this area, because we can have our own laws, we can change things for the educational system. There's so many things that can happen, and it's still unincorporated to this day.
Wow. So let me ask you real quick, Coy. With all the attention you guys are getting from this video, how many political and maybe like actors and things of that nature? I know like your profile has gone crazy right now. How is the attention you guys getting politically? Are any political people kind of, reached out to you guys to help them in their situations?
And you mean by reaching out, you mean
No, reaching out for help. I'm telling you, it's so polarizing that people are paying attention to that. So it's a great idea to actually promote it. But are people actually reaching out to do more PSAs like that?
I haven't seen any more people reaching out to do PSAs or to reach audiences that are considered overlooked or forgotten or just, simply not cared about. This is actually one of the first that I can recall seeing that reaches out to those kinds of people. I have gotten a lot of attention from different political analysts and political media outlets and things like that. And I've done interviews with them. However, it would be great to see more candidates reaching out in a way like that we have, and not to say that they have to, get on the stage and dance or anything like that, or just come to the bowl, so to speak. But there are so many populations, and not just with Black people, with all people. There are so many populations within every race that are unrepresented and that are not marketed towards when it comes to politics and running the race for office.
Rudy, did you think you would have a conversation like this with a pole artist?
Well, you know what? I was gonna ask her to the prom, but 92 passed and gone already. I missed my opportunity. But no, this is the funny thing, and this is in all honesty. I mean, when you get older and you learn certain things about society and the world, I wasn't surprised to see these women stand up and actually do something with their platform that was actually very, very brilliant to think of, whoever came up with that idea, because it was polarizing to see these women in their bodies. But it's a message that, you know what? More people are at the polls because of those ladies, and we should thank them and and be more complimentary towards that field, because sometimes it doesn't get the attention it deserves. It gets a little negative connotation sometimes. So
Yeah.
I think, you know what, Coy? I think we should all sit down. Maybe I should meet up with you once a week.
At least once.
To discuss what we can do further to help the community.
Because he's like the man of the community. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
You got to get out there. You got to reach the people where they are.
Exactly. And speaking of reaching where they are, have you come across anybody that didn't know that you were a pole artist that has seen this video and now wants to talk to you about your political interests?
Well, after 7 years, I don't think I've come across many people that didn't know
So you've
that
been
I'm a
doing
pole
this for
artist.
7 years. Okay.
7 years now. Yeah. And at first I was kind of keeping it separate because, family, I was lying to my parents like, oh yeah, I'm a bar back at a club. And they kind of figured it out. My folks are like, well, you just kept going to Miami. So I figured it out. And, I've had, political interest in things like that. I've been very active in the community, especially there was a protest for police brutality that used to happen every year in Atlanta. I used to participate in that. I worked with different organizations to raise money for the community out in Reynoldstown. I've helped feed the homeless with a Muslim organization downtown. I've spoken with a lot of people that were, Black positive and just positive in the community and helping to raise awareness for different causes over the years and lending my time and my energy and my resources for that personally. I just never really felt like, publicizing those things because I felt like it took away from the task at hand. So when it came down to dancing, I separated the two because I knew the kind of negative connotations that it might bring towards me. And I didn't want that to take away from, the work that I had done previously and the things that I continued doing. But it gets to a point where you get so much attention and people want to know so much about you that you do have to kind of expose just a little bit about yourself and what's going on and your basis and your background. So I'm glad I was able to kind of put those two together, so to speak, with the Get Your Booty to the Pole campaign.
Coy Malone is our guest, and she is one of the women that you see in this video. Get your booty to the pole and get your booty to the pole.com. So, Coy, what about going into politics?
Going into politics would be a very interesting move for me. I used to joke about this with my best friend, and I would play like I was having a press conference because I know they're going to ask, well, what about you used to be a stripper? Well, we're not here to talk about the days of my twerking. We're here to focus on the political people and their needs and concerns that we need to meet now. Right. So I do feel like it's something that can definitely happen. I think I will definitely represent a group of people, like I said, that have been unheard, overlooked, and forgotten, and just simply not cared about. I could help possibly bridge the gap between those that are conservative, and I'm not just, when I say conservative, I'm not just referring to Republicans and things like that. I'm referring to those that have a black and white picture of politics, that it's suit and tie, that it's somebody that's 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, somebody that has served, on the House and on the Senate. There's other people that have just as much knowledge, willpower, energy that they can lend into politics that can help close some of these gaps of misunderstanding that we have.
Well, I must say that you and your fellow pole artists have certainly put a new face on the whole education and voting. And so I thank you for that. Please stay in touch with us. We really want to know how this is going. And I promise you, I have never been to a club and seen a pole artist before, but I would love to come and just hang out with you guys and see how it is. Rudy, perhaps.
It's funny you should say that, Sybil, because I just happen to be going this weekend. Take you with me.
You should go. I will give you a couple of tips, especially with the pole artists that are very, very intricate with their shows and stuff like that. Try not to sit too close to the stage because we
Okay.
can get a little wild. The shoes can go flying. I've been
Yes.
known to get customers
Sweat.
accidentally. More so in my beginning days, but I've kind of refined that. But it is a lot of fun. If you want to take some musicians' earplugs because the music is pretty loud, like I
Mhm.
wear them when I work. I said I don't want to be the deaf stripper. I don't want to have to sign sign language and things like that. Even though I know it a little bit, I don't want that to be what I have to do. Stay hydrated.
And Coy, can you please tell Sybil some of the food at these establishments are some of the best food you'll probably ever taste in your life?
Oh my gosh, yeah. So the food is amazing. I didn't think that I would want to see someone twerk while I'm eating. I just never put the two
You be like,
concepts
who made
together.
this steak?
Yes, and see, listen, and I've been mostly vegan for years now. And while I was working at Magic City, I found myself sneaking a chicken wing, sneaking one. I couldn't believe I did
Food is
that. But I
delicious.
had to stop. I stopped. But yeah, they caught me. Some of their food, I don't know what the hell they put in it. But it's amazing.
Coy, please, I'd like to stay in touch with you. And if there's anything we can do to help you, please let us know. I really enjoyed this. I loved, going out of the box, if you will, and doing something to get folks involved and politically motivated. And I think you've done that, you and your fellow pole artists. So thank you so much. Coy Malone, people can follow you at Coy Malone.
Yes, at Coy, COY_Malone. That's on Instagram, and all of my other information as far as my other Instagram accounts are located on there. I am working on a website because there's been so much that has gone on with Get Your Booty to the Pole. It is making me say, hey, listen, I need to be a little bit more visible online. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Thank
Coy,
you
I'm
so
gonna be following you in 2 days.
And perhaps you will follow Rudy and listen to the Afternoon Rush podcast.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I
Thanks,
really
brother.
appreciate it. Rudy, this was so much fun. And Coy, you are a delight. Thank you so much for looking at for putting this in a whole new perspective for so many people. Appreciate you and going down the ballot, as it were, as well. Please ask you and your fellow artists. I'm asking you all to please sign up for our newsletter. If you'll go to sybilwilkes.com, and we'd like to have you as a part of the What You Need to Know news team, if you will.
That'll be awesome. Thank you. And I just want to say to everybody, today is the deadline for voter registration in a few different states. You have until midnight. So
Yep.
stop stalling. Click on the link that I provided.
Yeah,
Check and see.
if you can do it online, you can go till 11:59. Absolutely. And Georgia is one of those states. So please definitely try that. Tomorrow, as I was telling Rudy, it's going to be Sisters United for Reform. And we are going to have the president of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, Rashida Liberty, President Liberty, as well as the president of Top Ladies of Distinction, Sharon Beard. And we're going to be talking about domestic violence as well as mental health in the age of COVID-19. And there's a lot of issues. This is Domestic Abuse Awareness Month. I'm wearing pink for breast cancer awareness, but definitely want folks to know about the month as well. Thank you, Coy Malone. Appreciate you. Rudy Rush, love you. And Rudy Rush, the podcast, Afternoon Rush. And he's coming to a town near you. I have a feeling that COVID ain't going to keep you down for much longer and out in the club.
Not at all.
Especially the club where Coy is performing. Yes.
I perform there all the time, too. See you soon. Like it or not.
See you soon.
Thanks, everybody. Please go to sybilwilkes.com, subscribe to our newsletter. We will see you tomorrow as we talk with the Sisters United for Reform. I'm Sybil Wilkes. Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.